Yo, happy Saturday, everyone. What's going on? It's me, the Flying Pig here on Flying Pig United, with another little Manchester United news video for you. It's been a couple of days since we got one out to you guys, so apologies for that, but there hasn't been that much going on, to be fair. But we're going to get into all the latest United stuff today, and also there's obviously some big news in regards to a couple of things to do with Rangnick and Pogba, etc. So we're going to discuss all the latest goings on, give you the rundown before the game. Obviously later on at 5:30, we're going to be back on at 5 p.m. for a watch along as well. Get in there, my son. Everyone who's in here, Billy, Jimmy, Marky Harris, get in, my son, Playmaker. We've got John Priest, Flabby G, Spain Lord, Uncaged Squid, Kylie Madison, Leah Rose, absolute legends and legendesses getting in here. Thank you so much for joining us today. Smash that like button if you're just joining. Hit the thumbs up on it at the start of the stream. That always helps us out. And also give it a share around on social media if you're that way inclined. Do give it a cheeky little share. That always helps us out too. And if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button and get yourself involved in upon the action. We do get involved with the chat as well throughout the show, so do have your say throughout. Tom Blocks, what's good? Charlie Allams getting in today. Mickey Kramer, how you doing, you Don? Pushkar, Chrissy J, Daffa, Kieran, and everybody else, thanks for joining. So we've got a lot to get into. We're, of course, going to get into the chat and have a big Q&A at the end of the stream as well. But let me just get into the sort of news and then get my thoughts and opinions off my chest as well. Right, so we have some reports coming out today. Lots and lots of reports all over the gaff that Paul Pogba is a target for Manchester City this summer on a free transfer, you know, as a free agent, because obviously his contract is running down. It's ending at the end of this season at Manchester United, and he is able to join any club that he wants for free in the summer. Now, we know there has been some sort of shake-up recently with obviously Mino Raiola passing away, Pogba's agent, etc. But he is going to have to find a new club this summer. Either that or Manchester United decide to keep him, which would be a disgrace and a nonsense, as Roy Keane would say. But, you know, stranger things have happened than Manchester United bottling it and trying to keep hold of this guy. But Man City apparently weighing up the option at this moment in time. ESPN reporting that City are weighing up a move for Paul Pogba when his contract expires at United in the summer. Sources have told ESPN. Pogba's available on a free transfer, of course. There are other teams that are supposedly leading the chase at this moment in time, such as Paris Saint-Germain and also even Juventus, with that previous link with him being a player for them for several seasons, actually a good player for them. That's really where he established himself and sort of burst onto the world scene. Was not at Manchester United, obviously. Sir Alex Ferguson didn't like him. Fergie saw what people couldn't see to begin with, man. Obviously not the right sort of character, maybe not consistent or good enough for the Premier League, whatever it is. I mean, that's been proven over the last 5 or 6 seasons that he's played at Manchester United, that he's not been consistently good enough for the rough and ready tumble of the Premier League, whatever it may be, whatever the reason. Maybe doesn't get as much time on the ball as he did in Serie A. Maybe you could argue that Manchester United's team's obviously not been the greatest in that period, but he's supposed to be a big player for us. Okay, he does the business for France. People make that statement, don't they? But he's, in terms of the leagues, in terms of like having a right fit, some players just are not a right fit at a certain club. And maybe it's a certain league or it's a certain club. When Sebastian Veron came to Man United all those years ago, one of the best players in the world, didn't really set the world alight at Manchester United, though. This is it. Certain players are cut out for certain leagues. I think Paul Pogba is a Serie A player or a League One player. He's not a Premier League player in the sense that, you know, he doesn't like to do the dirty stuff. He is a physical guy. If he really wants to, he can get involved with all the rough and tumble defensive stuff. But it's just he doesn't seem to do it to as good as the standards as we need. And also he doesn't like to do that. Maybe United should have just been playing him as a offensive, creative talent for all these years. You know, sort of in the Bruno Fernandes role. Maybe you'd have seen Pogba actually do better then. But I believe he's been played all over the place for loads of different managers now at United. And he's always been more or less the same, which is kind of inconsistent. Yes, he's got all the abilities in the world. He can literally do what he wants when he wants. He's got the passing ability. He's got the physicality. He's got the, you know, the vision and the intelligence on the ball and all the rest of it that you need to be a top class midfielder. He's got. He can score you goals. He can create goals galore. Even his assists this season, if you look at his assist stats on paper, they look pretty damn good. Doesn't really show the fact that he scored most of them right at the start of the season, first couple of goals, or got the assist at the start of the season, and he's been doing jack all since. But you know, he's a good player, guys. We've gone on about this before. He is a good player. Problem is, he doesn't actually translate those talents onto the pitch on a regular enough basis for Manchester United. Therefore, he's absolutely bang average and surplus to requirements of Man United. All Manchester United would be doing by offering him a new contract at this stage is tying a big player down on big money who's inconsistent for us, and who's actually probably stopping the progression of another player within the squad who could come through, who could maybe give an opportunity, who might be more consistent, or a player that we have to go and sign that could come in and is more of that Manchester United player with that grit and determination and bollocks. That's sort of what we need. So he's just holding us back, unfortunately, guys. That's the problem, isn't it? I mean, he is a talented player. We could lose this player for free. I'm just resigned to the fact that he goes now. Let me have a little vote in the live chat, though, everybody. So just smash a free in the live chat if you would be happy to see him go on a free transfer this summer anywhere. Or smash a new contract in the live chat if you think United should actually sign him up, because he is a talented player, and we're only going to have to go out there and spend money on another big player as well. Let us know what you think. New contract or free? Billy, what's going on, mate? He says Pogba will be going to PSG. This is smoke and mirrors. Billy, great shout. Absolutely. I think you're spot on, mate. I think if you look at the leaders of who's going to realistically go and get him, it's PSG or Juventus. Juventus cannot probably afford the wages that Paul Pogba wants, though. PSG can. If you look at what he's on at United right now, a few £100,000 a week. Well, I mean, PSG can definitely afford that. They've got a pattern over there where they sign players, big name players who have just reached the end of their contracts. They've done it with Messi or Ramos or Donnarumma or anybody else. They just sign these players up on a free and give them a big deal, huge deal, and they get themselves really top-end players. But they don't actually pay a transfer fee for a lot of these guys. They are paying huge agent fees and huge signing-on fees and huge wages, though. That's why Paul Pogba is going to PSG, in my opinion, guys, because he is going to get the best deal at PSG. That's as simple as that, really. And it's the easiest gig for him at PSG. He's going to be going up against a bunch of wheelbarrow pushers in the French League One, in the Farmers League, you know what I mean? Bunch of turnip turners over there. And it's a piece of piss. He'll get so much time on the ball. PSG are guaranteed to win the league. I mean, they've won the league at this season at a canter. I think they're like 14 points ahead, right? Mauricio Pochettino hasn't even been nominated for Manager of the Year. That's how you know it's a shit league. A glass of fucking Perry water. What's that? Sparkling Perry. Or whatever could fucking do a better job than Mauricio Pochettino over there, man. I mean, anybody could win the league with that team. So it's really not an achievement. It's an easy league. It's an easy gig. He could go over there. He could smash in goals. He could smash in assists. He could, he'd be that big Hollywood player in Paris. And it just suits him down to the ground. He gets the most money. He gets the best opportunities in terms of looking good and winning things and adding trophies, which obviously he hasn't really done so much of at Manchester United. So it actually does fit Paul Pogba better than any of the other teams, I think. G-Wolf United Gaming, what's going on? He says, really want to go round his house and give him a slap around that smiley mush. Well, fair enough, G-Wolf. Little bit extreme, mate. Physical violence. You know what I mean? Will Smith vibes. You know what I mean, G-Wolf? But fair play. Okay, yeah. No, I get you. He does need a bit of something slapping into him. Some sense. Some sense. I'd like to see Roy Keane have a one-on-one with him, my son, in the octagon. No, in all fairness, Pogba probably mashed up Roy Keane these days. Anyway, but you know what I'm saying? Roy Keane's getting a little bit. Back in the day, though. Animal. Right. Okay. Hey, there's 100 of you legends in here, guys. Thank you for all getting your thoughts and opinions in. You can't believe we let him go on a free, says Anthony Brooks. Why not, though, Anthony? I mean, he's been inconsistent for us. What are we going to do? Sign him up for a big deal, a few £100,000 a week, sucking out of our coffers every single week. That's a huge amount of money. It's millions. That's £10 million a year, mate. And we could use that money better spent on a player who's more consistent. That's my deal with Pogba. Yeah, he is a good player, but he only actually does it every now and again for Man United, so why bother? Hey, Gary Finnegan, I'm not too bad, mate. I haven't been up too long. Just chilling, mate. Just chilling, waking up to see this news about Pogba and Manchester City being in for him. Let's just go back to it, though. Okay, yeah, PSG may be his most favoured destination, and I do think that even Juventus might be interested, but they probably couldn't afford the sort of wages we're talking about here. But Man City is, it's an option. I personally think, why would they do it? Well, club captain Fernandinho is set to leave the Etihad in June, and City are exploring some options in terms of who they could bring in to bolster their midfield. People like Declan Rice have been mentioned, 150 million transfer fee. Frankie de Jong over at Barcelona as well is also linked. These are a couple of players that are both linked to us as well, by the way, but they're also linked to City. Guardiola's understood to like de Jong and was keen to get him when he left Ajax initially. So, but sources have told ESPN that Pogba would be open to joining City who believed the World Cup winner is a viable option because of his contract situation at Old Trafford. So because he is a free transfer, essentially it makes it a lot more appealing to a lot of clubs to go for him, even though he is a bit of a nonchalant melt for Man United on the pitch. For some teams, it does kind of make a little bit of sense if he's free and they're a big side and maybe they could get the best out of him. Do you know what I say? Come and get him, Manchester City, please. Honestly, come and get him. I don't give a toss. Usually I'd be gutted about this sort of thing. Man, when Tevez left for City, it was like the bitter betrayal. It was a disgrace. It was so disappointing because he was such a great player for us, and you knew that they were getting such a great player, and it was like, oh God, what a bunch of tossers. You know, it's like, oh man, it's a stab in the back, but it's a kick in the bollocks too, because they're actually really good. But I don't feel like this with Paul Pogba. I feel like it's a massive poison chalice signing for anybody at this moment in time. Unless you're in a farmers league where he can just go up against a bunch of tractor drivers, he's not really too convincing. So if Pep Guardiola wants a little bit of Paul Pogba action, come and get him, Pep. Honestly, I think that would be such a bad move for Man City, honestly. I think it'd be a terrible signing for them. He's not a consistent guy. He's not a consistent performer. Maybe you could argue, okay, well, in that team at City, maybe he would do better, and maybe Pep, you know, great coach and all the rest of it, could get the best out of Paul Pogba. Maybe that's true, but I mean, he's bloody bang average. Who in their right mind in the Premier League would want to sign Paul Pogba based on his season that he's had, or based on the last 5 years that he's had at Man United? I don't think he represents good value for money, even on a free. That's just my honest opinion. Pogba is injury prone anyway, says Dublevet. I mean, blue hair dye suits him at City better than red, to be fair, says Madhouse. You're absolutely right, mate. I mean, that's true. French toast is overrated, says Jay Razor. Chris Koo, how are you doing today, mate? Good to see you in here, boss. Happy Saturday to you as well, Chris Koo. What an absolute lad. Hey, we got a super chat from Marky Harris. Super chat. Thank you, Mark Harris. He says the Glazers suck out millions. Glazers out. Hashtag Glazers out, man. Hashtag Glazers out. I've got some stuff to get into in a little bit about the Glazers, which is going to wind you the fuck up as well, Marky Harris. Thanks for getting in with your comment there and your super chat. Let's get a sue in the live chat. Hey, Owen Thorne, what's going on? Money Siddiqui says Maguire will join Titanic. They do need a new captain, mate, absolutely, who's going to go down. Okay, so listen, guys, so that's it. Pogba is understandably a target for many different clubs. Man City's being talked about, and there's lots of different outlets reporting that Paul Pogba, you know, is a big target for City because of the situation in the midfield, the fact he's a free. I mean, it would be a bit of a one-up for them if they could get Paul Pogba from Man United. We wouldn't like it. We would hate it. But in terms of, like, actual care, you know, actual feelings, it wouldn't be like the Tevez situation. It wouldn't be as bad as that, but he'd still be considered an absolute traitor. I don't actually think he's going to go, guys. I think he would end up at PSG. It just suits everybody. They're getting a French sort of icon who's won the World Cup and is a good player and will do well for them in a Farmers League. Pogba will get probably the biggest pay packet he can get by signing on at PSG. It's in his homeland as well, you know, Paris. He's going to be playing in the capital. These are all appealing things for Paul Pogba, I'm sure. It's kind of a no-brainer. If I was Paul Pogba, what do I want to do? Do I want to go and be City rivals and just get hated and slated, you know, a couple of games a year and throughout the season by Man United fans and have this traitor moniker? Do you want that? I don't think he would want that. I think it's an easier ride for him to go and do it in PSG. Plus, he's actually guaranteed to get trophies in PSG. City will win trophies. City do win trophies. But he's even more guaranteed to get trophies at PSG. They should win the French Cup every year. They didn't this year. They should win the league by a canter, which they did. And if you look at the players they've got there, it must be quite appealing to any footballer to go, all right, I could be playing with Neymar, Mbappe, Messi, all these guys. I mean, it is an appealing place to play your football. So even if it is in a French Farmers League. So it's a Galactico team. Paul Pogba would fit right in there as well in terms of like big egos and prima donnas and all the rest of it and mercenaries. Maybe Paul Pogba would fit absolutely bang on in there, I think. So perfect move for Paul Pogba. Let's just ask the live chat. Guys, let me know your thoughts and opinions about where you think Paul Pogba begins his season next year then. PSG, Juventus, City, Real Madrid, wherever, you know. Let us know where you think Paul Pogba will go and play in the summer, where he will sign for on a free. Or Manchester United. You could say Manchester United. Billy says PSG. Billy says PSG. You reckon PSG, says Mickey Kramer. Fire Ant says PSG. Sukranash Pasha agrees. Hey, nice one, guys. We just smashed 50 likes on the stream. Keep dropping a thumbs up if you haven't done so. And let's get this one to 100 likes. Let's have a cheeky little Baker Break like spike. Help us compete with the clickbait merchants and the shithouses on YouTube by completing the like task. Rajon, what's going on? PSG for sure. Brandon thinks PSG as well. Pogba to Stevenage, says Mark Harris. The Moon, says William Kelly. City will never win the Champions League. Get in there, Jay Razor. PSG as he loves farmers, says G Wolf. Liverpool says hello. PSG says the Stallone Roses. Don't give a shit, to be honest, says Madhouse. Yeah, well, like I was saying, if it did happen to end up where he went to Man City, I would actually like that. I think it'd be fun. It's not like the Tevez situation. I think it'd be fun. I think he'd be rubbish for them because I actually don't think he's a proper Premier League player. He's kind of had long spells out injured as well. He's like, he does it all. He just does it too infrequently. That's the problem with him. We know he's got the abilities. He's infrequent. The same sort of was we were talking about Anthony Martial before he went out on loan. It's that kind of thing. Tony Martial's a fantastic player on his day, but his day does not come often enough. And you remember, obviously, Alex Ferguson got rid of Paul Pogba once or didn't give him the nod and he left on a free. Looks like history is repeating itself, guys. We brought him back for 89 million pounds. A huge amount of money. I mean, what an absolute terrible bit of business this has proven to be. Because it's not like he's been a midfield general for you over those years that we were hoping for. An £89 million player, you're expecting a Rolls Royce. We've ended up with a clapped out looking free-wheeled Robin Reliant in the midfield. It's not a very good look for United with the midfield over the last 5-6 years. Pogba's been a big part of that, and he has let us down more often than not. You can count the great performances from Pogba on one hand, or maybe two, over the years at United. Not very many absolutely worldy performances. Think about how many Bruno had in the first 18 months, or how many, Kevin De Bruyne has on a regular basis, like how many great sort of fantastic, great performances they put in consistently. Pogba doesn't do that, so he's had long spells where he just plays too inconsistent. But we all see the glimpses, don't we? And for France, he was obviously great. For Juventus, he was great. Wherever he goes, even if he goes to Spain, I don't think he's going to Spain, but let's just say Real or Barca or one of those teams just for a laugh want to get him in the summer. I think he'd probably do really well there too. He's just not quite cut out for the Premier League. You don't get as much time on the ball in the Premier League. It's a very, very physical league. Paul Pogba has got some great physical attributes, but in the Premier League, it's not as evident. In Serie A, he's getting a bit more time, and it's also his ability to score and assist and things like that, just more open over there. It's more open for him. In the Premier League, it's just a little bit more intense, just that little bit more intense. Okay, so yeah, that's it, guys. The Times reporting that Declan Rice, though, is City's major target for a sort of midfielder this summer, and that he could potentially replace Fernandinho anyway. So in terms of obviously he's going out this summer. It's understood his plans to depart the Etihad or the Etihad this summer, and so they are looking for a new midfield maestro in the summer. Declan Rice is a Man United target, and he's also a Man City target. If anybody's more likely to go and spend 100 million or 150 million on one player, I guess it is Man City. It's not going to be United this summer with Ten Hag coming in, having to spread it all around the squad to make our overall team better. So that is bloody buzzing wire. That is better, it makes sense for us to go and spend in all different areas of the squad rather than just go and get one player like Declan Rice. So he probably I could see him maybe going to Man City. It's a disgrace and a nonsense, but another thing depends on what they do in their other transfer business. So if you actually think about what they need, they also do need to get a striker in there. There's so much talks, and it's looking quite realistic, of course, that it would be Erling Haaland, who is the player that they sign up the top there. He's another United target, but he's not realistically a United target because we haven't got Champions League football. We're in not a very good run at the moment. But in terms of going to City, he looks like he would be one of the favourites. They're one of the favourite destinations for Erling Haaland to end up. So if they're going to spend huge money on him, are they really going to go and get Declan Rice? It depends. Smash a one in the live chat if you would take Declan Rice at Man United, though. Hey, what's going on there? 0793 says, not sure if I'm awake as Albion are winning 4-0. If I'm awake, yo, Mr. Big, hey, you're dreaming. Sorry to say, 0793. You're going to wake up shortly and you're 1-0 down. Money Siddiqui says, saw last post of Pogba dancing in the gym. Like, seriously, after that bang of performance should really go. Hey, I saw that as well, man, to be fair. Yeah, I know. I agree, mate. But at the same time, I kind of thought that was a bit of fun. Okay, Eric Hahn, Kieran, Kerry, E83, Madhouse, 1 for 50 mil. Money, but not for his price, says M. Yeah, Dennis Dukari. Leah Rose agrees. Too much money, says Susan Lively. So you've hit the nail on the head. He's just too much money. He doesn't represent good value. Yeah, if you could get him for 70 million plus a player, then it makes sense because he is homegrown. And that is a huge amount of money to spend on any one player. But he is a 22-year-old sort of, wonder man. He's not really a wonder kid anymore, but he's still 22. He's really young. He's homegrown. He's English, playing for England. He's doing really well. He's had a great season. He's definitely got huge potential in the game. So you are going to have to spend a lot of money for him. Maybe you could do a deal with the player going in the opposite direction, but I don't think that we're going to spend that much money on him when Ten Hag needs to buy 5 new first-team players minimum. So we have to get new players in all different areas. But he is obviously he is obviously a very, very good player, and we should probably go and have a conversation about it. But I very much doubt that we're going to pay 150 million, which is what they want. And by the way, they won't get 150 million for him, but he does have 3 years left on his contract there at West Ham, so it's unlikely that they're desperate to sell him as well. Okay, who remembers the Carlos Tevez days though back in 2009 when he went to Manchester City, the old welcome to Manchester proper shithouse poster fucking billboard erected in the city centre, absolute fucking shithousery. Could they do something like that again with Paul Pogba just for a laugh? I don't know. I don't think so. I think he's going to end up at PSG. Right, okay, so we'll get into Paul Pogba again at the end if anybody wants to in the Q&A. But next up, I want to talk about this, which is Ralf Rangnick has been talking, and there's a clip of it. You can see the video from it before the game, obviously, where he's being asked about the situation in January with a striker. And this is just a direct quote from him. He said he revealed, obviously, that he wanted a striker in January, and that the Glazers and obviously the board said, no joy, no bueno. And it says, but the answer from the board was no. There was, and he even went on, they said, did you have any targets in mind or any players? He said, yeah, Luis Diaz, who's now at Liverpool doing bits. Julian Alvarez, who's City signed. Obviously, he's not going to play for them until the summer. I think he's gone back on loan, I believe, but to his club that he just signed from. Maybe I'm wrong there, but I'm pretty sure that happened. But either way, and also Vlahovic, who obviously was at Fiorentina at the time. So this is what Rangnick said. He said it bluntly. He said it as it is. I mean, this is just classic Glazer shithousery. Yeah, we get it. Okay, fair enough. You don't want to give a new manager who's just in there for 6 months, who's an interim, a new player who you don't want to give him £70 million to go and spend on a new player who the next coach might not even want. Okay, fair enough. We get that. But how's about signing a fucking prospect then, or somebody that's not really that much of a gamble? So they've still got an extra man. They've still got a player that they want. But the next manager will do well to have that player. They'll be happy to have him because they're a good potential player. They've got good, good qualities, and they're young. So, and if not, then you can sell them on because they're still young. They've still got market value. There is no risk involved signing a player like fucking Julian Alvarez. So the board are just absolute scum. The Glazers are absolute fucking worms. And there you go again, not wanting to spend any money. The same was said of a midfielder in the January window as well. Fucking Zachariah went to Juventus for £5 million. They weren't prepared to go and get him. Is that a risk? If the new coach says in the summer, you know what, Zachariah's not the guy for me, fuck it, we're going to bin him off on a free transfer. It's not the end of the bloody world. And let's face it, there would be a market value that you have from signing a player up for that small amount of money who's actually worth more than that. So you could probably sell Zachariah for more in the summer. So we could have got a couple of players, not even spent north of 20 million quid to get a player like Alvarez, player like, Zachariah, and it would have bolstered the squad, and it would have made Rangnick's job a heck of a lot easier, especially with what happened after the Mason Greenwood situation in the January window. So you let Martial go out on loan. You let a couple of players, Ahmed Diallo, you let a lot of players go out on loan. And then you get that great Greenwood situation, falls at your door, where you've no longer got this great prodigy striker available in your squad. That was one guy you were going to rely on this season. He was a big player of the squad. All of a sudden, he's gone because of off-the-field stuff. He's no longer available, so you've got to go and strengthen now. You have to go and sign a new player, now more than ever. Did they do that? No. It just goes to show you the lack of ambition they've got, and that they're just prepared to just sit back and just don't even give a shit about where United finish in the league, really. Just rake in that fucking cash. And just do the bare minimum. That's all they give a toss about. Last January, I keep going on about it, but Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was top of the fucking league in January. If ever there was a time to spend a little bit and give him what he needed, it was then to try and have a real push for the title. No fucking ambition from our owners. So, I get it. They don't want to spend money on a new manager, but we're not talking about big money here. I'm not talking about going to get Vlahovic or one of those guys, actually. I'm talking about just spending a reasonable small amount of money on a young prospect who would definitely help out, would definitely bolster our squad. Kamara was a discussion in the January transfer window. So the mind boggles. Board wrote the season off in November, says Malps. Absolutely. Yeah, that's exactly right, Chrissy J. He's calling the Glazers out. Fair play to Rangnick. Yes, absolutely. Parting shots. You're so right, mate. Fantastic words from Ralph Rangnick here. And you have to commend him for this, because you know that the board, you know that the Glazers, you know that everybody upstairs is not happy in one bit about his comments, because it is basically just showing the lack of ambition that the board have. Okay, they don't want to sign a player for the manager that's not going to be there, but there are certain players that any manager would want in the future, or that as an asset wouldn't really hurt to sign. So, yeah, I agree, mate. Fair play to Ralph Rangnick. He's done well here in terms of like just exposing how poor in terms of ambition the Glazers are, and he's saying it how it is, and it's refreshing, and I like that. He's even said like which players. He didn't just say, yeah, there was a few players we could have got. He's even said which ones. He said Vlahovic was of an interest to me, Luis Diaz, Julian Alvarez, these players that we all discussed in January of why Man United need to go and get one of these sorts of players, because we're desperate for it. We've now got this Greenwood situation and we need to make a move. He felt exactly the same way. Of course he did. Of course he wanted to get these players in there. He knows this squad is a little bit bare up there. So, yeah, I do respect Ralph Rangnick for talking in this way. Let's get some love hearts in the live chat for Ralph Rangnick. He has been up against it since he's come in with this shit squad and this shit board and everyone. Okay, fair enough. Look, he's also not done a fantastic job, I don't think, of coaching the very best out of this team. And he has made some errors and some similar mistakes to Ollie, and just had a bit of a mare in general. But, you know, he has been up against it. It's the worst job. This squad and this team right now and who you've got as your board, this is the worst job. Mark Harris, thank you so much for getting in it with your super chat. He says, makes Slab a huge fucking risk. Joke. Mark Harris, thank you so much for getting in here. Absolutely. I mean, the whole Maguire situation just sums up how gash our board is, really. And, you know, in regards to playing him right now, well, I've got bad news, but he might be featuring today. We'll have to wait and see. He has been training all week. Fucking slabby Maguire. Viva Ralph Rangnick, says Billy. Yeah, very refreshing to see. I do love to see this from Ralph Rangnick, because it's very, very seldom that you hear managers talk like this. You know, he's onto a winner, really, because he's already got a job lined up with Man United. If they sack that job off, it doesn't matter. It's a bloody consultancy role, couple of days a week, part-time basis. Might as well be a bloody paper boy on a Saturday morning. Who gives a toss, really? You know, it's not the end of the world if he loses that job. And then he's also got the Austria job to go into, so he's already got a job. His focus isn't even going to be entirely on Manchester United. It's just going to be partially on United, if anything. And so maybe they'll just decide to just sack that opportunity off at the end of the season. Who knows? But it doesn't really matter. But what I like about him is he has absolutely just said how it is about the Glazers and the lack of ambition in the Jan window, and stated that he wanted these players, and there were these players that we could have gone and got. But in the end, we've missed out. Luis Diaz went to Liverpool. Vlahovic moved. Julian Alvarez signed for City. You know, so we've definitely been slow on the uptake here. That's why we are so behind these other teams. Their recruitment's better than ours, and they act swifter and faster than us. We spend 18 months negotiating a deal for £80 million for Harry Maguire. We spend 2 years negotiating a £73 million deal for Jadon Sancho at Dortmund. That's the type of club we are now. We take fucking ages to negotiate deals, and we can't seem to get any business done because the Glazers, you know, it's almost like they're just so separated from the running of this football club. They're in their ivory tower in New York. It's almost like we've got to communicate with them through fucking carrier pigeon or something. Send the fucking crows. Send a fucking crow, you know? Send a raven or whatever. That's it, basically. Can we sign Vlahovic? Let's send a fucking raven to New York. The raven takes 3 fucking days to get there. They get the message. They have a look at it. Can we sign a new player? No. Send it back, send the Raven back 3 days fucking later. No, you can't sign a fucking player. They're a bunch of, it's just a disgrace, mate. It's just a disgrace. So, yeah, hashtag Glazers out, guys. Let's get some green and gold emojis. Absolutely, Susan Lively Sue. Rashford is out with bronchitis as well. I got bronchitis. He's out with bronchitis. Eric Ten Hag. So, Eric Ten Hag is understood to be resigned to the fact that Paul Pogba's leaving. Doesn't really give a toss. Hey, look, it's not really his player. He probably would like a fresh start anyway. So in regards to Ten Hag and Pogba, hey, look, he's not really got thoughts on the situation. He's managing Ajax right now. He's not started his job at United. But I'm sure He might have had a conversation with somebody and said what his thoughts are on Paul Pogba and said, should we maybe be looking at trying to get him and keep him? In my opinion, he would have looked at what's happened at United. He would have looked at how much money he's on, would have looked at who he could maybe bring in the midfield instead. And he would say, not interested, let him go. So that's why I think Ten Hag's views are on him, but who knows what Ten Hag's views are on Pogba. But there you go. Okay, so Ralph Rangnick, by the way, oh yeah, we're talking about that. Damning statement. This is his full quotes, by the way. Rangnick said the answer was no in regards to being asked about a player in January. He said the answer from the board was no. There was no player on the market that could really help us. But then he said, but there were a few. He even said, but there were a few. Diaz, who's now at Liverpool, Alvarez, who will be at Manchester City in the summer, Vlahovic, who at the time was still at Fiorentina. Those are just three of them that came across my mind now. We were, this is what he said as well. We were, that's the key word. We were still in three competitions: Champions League, FA Cup, fourth in the league. But that's in the past and it doesn't help us anymore. So think about it. That's another little slight, that statement. We were still in three competitions: Champions League, FA Cup, and fourth in the league. There you go. Highlighting the sheer lack of ambition from the owner. So big respect to Ralph Rangnick for what he said here. Because he has been quite frank and just said that, yeah, we were still in three competitions. We should have gone for it. We should have strengthened. We should have had a couple of players come in. But our board are a bunch of shithouses. He said, I spoke to the board and said, shouldn't we at least speak and try and analyse if we could get a player either on a loan or as a permanent deal? But in the end, the answer was no. I still believe that we should have at least tried. If we would have found and been able to in 48 hours, 48 hours is short notice, but it's still 48 hours. It might have been worth to try and internally and discuss, but we didn't, and it was not done. I mean, what a disgusting... Can you believe these comments, guys? I mean, fucking fair play to him, but can you believe these comments? How gash is our club run, honestly? 48 hours is short notice, but it's still 48 hours. Fucking 48 hours! We signed Falcao in 48 fucking minutes! You can definitely do business in that time, you know. So it's absolutely just a piss poor excuse from the board. It might have been worth to try. I absolutely think that Ralph Rangnick is a gentleman and a really intelligent guy, and I like him. I like the way he speaks, and I like how open and honest that he is, and I like this communication with the fans. And I'm pretty sure if this relationship with Manchester United ends in a sour fashion, i.e. they're not happy about his statements recently, things like saying we need to sign 7 or 8, 10 new players in the summer, and also things like saying this, if they do want to get rid of him and not have him as a consultant or whatnot after the end of the season, then I think you're going to see a bit of a tell-all from Ralph Rangnick in regards to his true opinions and his true thoughts on the board, because he's already saying a lot of the stuff, but a lot of the things that's going on behind the scenes. But obviously he's still got a job to do, and he can't outright say how he really feels. But he's still doing it in a roundabout way. So, and quite blunt, in fact, actually, not a roundabout way, quite blunt, just simply saying, I had a discussion with the board. We had 48 hours to do it. We could have fucking done it, but they didn't bother to do it. They said no. So he's actually very frank. It's not in a roundabout way, but obviously after he's left, God almighty, he'll probably lay the smackdown on the Glazers and the running of this football club. But then again, he may well stay on. He may well, it looks like that's obviously what's going to happen, and have some sort of input into, you know, the hierarchy here at United and the running of this football club. Somewhat of an input, but who knows? He's basically just going to be a part-timer at that as well, because he's going to be Austria manager. 152 legends watching. Thanks everyone for joining. Do hit the subscribe button if you're new. You only need to be subscribed for 1 minute, and you can chat in the live chat with everyone and get your questions in and stuff. And so do smash that subscribe if you're new. That's the red one that says subscribe. There's also a little bell there. Click that bell, like your name was Quasimodo, because that will give you notifications when we post. And also drop a like on the video, guys. Let's get this one to 150 likes. Drop a cheeky little like on the vid and get yourself involved with a chat with the legends. Okay, so I really, really like these comments from Ralph Rangnick anyway, guys, about him speaking to the board and you know, asking them, can we get a loan or a permanent deal or something? Please? Greenwood's in the bloody Wormwood scrubs, and, you know, we've got Martial out on loan, Diallo gone, and, you know, we've only got Ronaldo, and Cavani's injured, and, you know, we need a striker. Can we go and get one, guys? A cheeky little loan? Nah? Okay, then. It's fucking ridiculous. So there you go, proper lack of ambition, a lack of ambition in the previous Jan window as well. What they do is they just have their set of money. They look at maybe the most commercial ways that they can generate more cash as well from spending their money. I.e., let's go and sign Rafael Varane for a very nice amount of money. Very good amount of money we paid for Varane. What was it in the end? Was it 43 million euros or something? I can't quite remember now. It's gone out of my head, but it wasn't a huge amount for a player of that ilk, of that caliber. It was a really good signing. And then you look at Ronaldo. Well, I think we paid like 12 or 13 million for him. His shirt sales, all the rest of it, we've recouped that. The exposure, the profile, the fans, the people viewing all around the world, the hundreds of thousands of people probably in Portugal alone who tune in regularly now to watch Man United just because Cristiano Ronaldo has played. All these things have an economical, commercial boost. And they've obviously done things such as sell off stock options in their, their stock holdings in Manchester United after inflating the price and selling shares, I should say. Selling shares after they've inflated the price by making signings such as Cristiano Ronaldo, which boosted the overall value of the club, obviously, and was a big commercial success for the club. So you've got the owners making signings based on commercial enterprise. They're not necessarily signing these players based on footballing abilities. Of course, Ronaldo, Sancho, Varane, all these guys are great footballers too, so they're great players too, don't get me wrong. But I don't know if they're signing players. I don't think they would sign a player who doesn't do something for them commercially. They like to invest their money. They're shrewd and they're scummy businessmen, but they do make these shrewd signings and they inflate the stock price and then they sell their stock option and then they make money and they take dividends out of the club. But they're just a bunch of absolute weasels in all fairness, guys. Hey, Mr. Garrett, thank you so much. I missed your super chat, Mr. Garrett, you legend. I hope you're doing well. Dizzy Red Devil's in here. Kieran, everyone, thanks for joining, man. Great to see all you legends. Mr. Garrett, can we get a Sue in the chat? He says next year will be a turning point. Hope you're right, mate. I can see Man United being pretty gashtastic for another whole year while Ten Hag comes in and tries to get all the gash players out, form a new team, instill a new belief and a confidence and a new way of playing. That's all going to take time. Oh, it's so frustrating though. So there you go. That's big news, guys. Ralph Rangnick reveals he wanted a new striker at Man United in January, but the board said no. Hashtag Glazers out. Rain down those green and gold emojis because it's a disgrace and a nonsense. Roy Keane would be throwing punches at them and wouldn't let them on the coach. So there you go. So, so even as far as naming the players. Shocking, man. Luis Diaz, Julian Alvarez, Dusan Vlahovic. The answer was nah. Computer says nah. Unbelievable. Right, I'm just going to get into the chat for a minute, actually, very quickly, before I get on to the other bits of topics we've got. Billy says it does show what a genius Sir Alex was. He won a league with Cleverley and Anderson and Johnny Evans. Imagine Pep with that team. Spot on, mate. No, Pep Fraudiola, mate. Pep Fraudiola he needs the best of everything. He needs the finest of the finest. If you're talking about sportsmen who he could be compared to, it is like Lewis Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton's a great driver, but he needs the best car as well, If he doesn't have the best car, he's not going to do the best job. That's it. You need somebody that's probably not a good analogy because usually the best cars win in that one. But you know what I'm saying? Like, he needs the best of the best, the finest of the finest. He doesn't go into Marks and Spencer and get the basic shit. He doesn't shop at Audi, this guy. He goes into M&S and he gets the finest, whatever it is, He gets the finest fucking pate to put on his finest thick sliced toast in the morning, etc. He's definitely used to the finer things. He gets all the money that he wants. He spends it on whoever he wants. He collects wing backs like they're going out of fashion, like they're fucking match attacks cards. He spends a shitload of money on them, and he just buys players whenever he wants every single year. 100 million for Grealish? Yeah, do we want to spend 100 million on a fucking Bendit like Beckham, Keira Knightley lookalike? Yeah, let's go for it. 100 mil. We'll pay 100 million for those calves. You know what I mean? So they just spunk money like it's going out of fashion. He's allowed whoever he wants. He had the best team, one of the best teams in Europe at Bayern Munich when he was there as well. Couldn't win the Champions League there, but had the best of the best. Back still, they had a better team than they do now back then. And then you look at Barcelona. Obviously, Barcelona was his team. It's an incredible team. But what an incredible team. You got Messi, Xavi, and Iniesta. It does make it a bit easier for you. But an incredible style. Pep's tactics are undeniable. The way he sets them up, the way he coaches. But at the end of the day, he's a fucking fraud, son. All that money spent, all that time with those two other clubs, and he hasn't been able to do it. Imagine if he was to go and manage a team like, I don't know, Everton. You see what Carlo Ancelotti obviously went there, gave it a bash. Rafa Benitez has done things like that. I don't think Pep Guardiola is ever going to go manage a team that's in the mid-table or a team that's got a real project or a team that doesn't have a huge transfer budget or stars throughout the whole entire squad. Maybe he's just not that kind of guy. Why would he do that when he doesn't have to? I get it. But at the same time, he's a bit of a fraud, son. It's easy when you've got all the free reign and you've got money bags and you've got these fucking oligarch owners, 1,000 miles away just bankrolling you, letting you sign whoever you want. You can go and sign whatever player you want every single summer. This summer, they're going to go and get fucking the painting out of Ghostbusters 2 in Erling Haaland for fucking 170 million or 70 million or whatever it is, and pay him fucking 600 grand a week because nobody gives a toss at City in regards to financial fair play. They've got the money in the coffers and they just fucking jack off all day and don't give a shit. So they can just spend the money. There you go. Haaland coming in, no worries. You know, that's bullshit, guys. Who can do that? What other managers can really do that at this moment? Then again, you know, if you look back in the day, Sir Alex Ferguson always, you know, he did have quite a lot of free reign of, especially back then. Actually, it was easier to sign players when you were Man United. When you think about it, because we used to be able to we always won, and it wasn't the 4 or 5 horse race that it is now in the Premier League. So we used to have free reign of players. Do we want Rio? Yeah, we'll get Rio. Do we want Berbatov? Yeah, we'll get Berbatov. Do we want Robin van Persie? Yeah, we get Robin van Persie. Do we want, you know what I mean? It was actually, so, you know, but let's not even try and compare what Sir Alex did with Pep, because Pep's just come in and just had super duper Galactico teams every single time. Sir Alex actually had to rebuild teams time and time again. And as the commenter said before, why we got onto this topic in the first place, imagine Pep trying to do what Sir Alex did, winning the league with Buddy Anderson and Tom Cleverley. I don't think he's got a hope in hell's chance of doing that. So you're absolutely spot on. Let's not even try and compare, because it's two different ends of the spectrum. Pep's a fucking fraud, son. That's right. Okay. The bald fraud, says Tabo. Yes, that's right. Okay, guys, let's get into some transfer news and stuff then very quickly. Or actually, just before I do that, let's talk about, we haven't really done a proper Brighton preview. I'm not really going to do a proper Brighton preview, but just a couple of bits of team news. So Eric Bailly struggling with a back complaint. Marcus Rashford's been ruled out through illness. I got bronchitis. Harry Maguire is understood to be set to return to after missing a few games with a knee injury. Why do we have to have this man play before the end of the season? I hope he doesn't select him. Ralph Rangnick, you know, okay, he says all this stuff. I like it. But if he selects Maguire, he's off his tree. Don't fancy it, guys. Don't fancy Maguire starting. So hashtag Maguire out. But he's probably set to feature anyway. In regards to the form and what Brighton are doing this season, well, they're actually doing pretty well. I mean, they're 6th in the form guide right now. They have won 3 of their last 6 games, drawn 2 and lost 1, and the loss was to Man City, 3-0. They did beat Tottenham. They did beat Arsenal in that run of 6 games. They did beat Wolves 3-0 and drew with Southampton. They've had a good run, actually. We are actually really doing terribly compared to them in terms of recent form. Our recent form is 13th in the form table. We've got 3 losses in those fixtures as well. It's just not a really good look, Man United side, in terms of form. But we did have a much better performance out against Brentford. We drew against Chelsea. So we're slightly on the upturn, I suppose you could say. I'm still expecting Man United to go out there and get the job done and smash them up away at the Amex. I'm going for 2-0, guys, to Manchester United. Get your thoughts and opinions in now. What's your prediction for the game later? We're going to be back on at 5 p.m. doing a watch-along for the game. But I'm going for 2-0 to Manchester United. Yeah, match starts at 5:30, David Lee, absolutely. Hey, what's going on football with Brownie? How you going there, man? He says there's no way Pep could have taken Porto to Champions League like Mourinho. Yeah, I absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. He needs the finest of the finest, man, you know. He's like, if he's like one of these gourmet fucking Michelin star chefs, man, who needs like these poncy fucking bullshit fucking truffles from the French forest for fucking 40 pounds of fucking shaving. You know what I mean? To make some bullshit fucking garnished up gashed dish, which is like fit for a 2-year-old to eat. That's tiny and just some complete bloody poncy, you know, guff type dish that they serve up at one of those fancy restaurants, mate. That doesn't touch the side. But he needs all those great ingredients to make a fantastic Michelin star dish. Whereas, you know, somebody else, I don't know, maybe, maybe we could see, Jose Mourinho's more of a Hugh Fernley Whitting stall or something. He could just come out into the woods, he can butcher a rabbit or a pheasant or something, and get some natural spices from some fucking leaves or something he's grown in his back garden, and rustle you up a nice fucking tasty dish, son. That's the difference. I agree, Pep Guardiola needs the finest of the finest. 2-1 Brighton again. I still have no faith in the team, says Leah Rose. Ooh, going in there. Tell you what, Brighton in good form, good team. Tough fixture, this one. Tough fixture. I know. I mean, hey, look, it could happen. Primot says United 3-1 if Maguire plays 2-2. Oh, great prediction, Primot. Feels like 0-0 to me, says Lou XN. Yeah, that would be gash. So I take it it's on Sky or BT then. Pretty sure it is, Chris Koo, yeah. 3-1 United because Ralph will play Maguire, says Susan. 3-1 to United, says Chrissy J, probably for the same reason. 1-0, 1-3, says David. 0-0, says Robin. Nice one, guys. Thanks for getting your pictures in. So I am going for 2-0. I'm feeling positive, but I look at the performance against Brentford last time, and it seems like the players, for some reason, now we've got Nout to play for. Seems like now they will all of a sudden give a shit. Maybe Rangnick will play a few of the kids as well, so that could give some, well, it could give some mixed results. It depends how they really play. They might struggle, or they might just play without fear and play better than our overpaid, overrated prima donna Melts at the moment. So I'm happy to see that. Hashtag play the youth. Really want him to do that. I don't want it to be another testimonial fucking game where we're playing a bunch of old Frankenstein Melts who we need to get out of this football club, in all fairness. Not that I don't like these players. They've been great players for us over the years. But nah, we don't want to really be seeing Mata and Matic. They've had their send-off at Old Trafford now. It's time to give the kids an opportunity just for a couple of games we've got left. Mark Harris, mate, thank you again for another super chat. He's going in there ham. He says, cheeky dono for Pep Bald Fraud Bottle Rehab Fund. Hey, get in there, mate. He's going to need that. He's going to need that Regenikine or whatever it is, mate. That regenerative hair treatment soon. Hey, thank you so much there. Can we get a stew in the chat there for Marky Harris? Phil Jones Bones doctor told me to go to rehab. And I said, no. Big God Bob, how you doing today, man? He won't play the kids, be saving them for the FA Cup Youth Final. Yeah, fair point, but that is on the 11th, right? And I'm not talking about playing all the kids. I'm talking about playing just a couple, give them some game times, you know. So I'm not talking about playing all the kids. I'm just talking about banging a couple of them in there, you know, get a couple of starts for them. And also a couple of substitute appearances maybe. So obviously most of the team's going to be the senior players, but just a couple of youngsters would be a good addition in my opinion. Okay, just a bit of transfer news very quickly, guys, and then we're going to get into the live chat, and I'm going to wrap this one up. But do drop a like if you're getting in, hit that subscribe, all that good stuff. How many likes are we on right now? Have we breached 100? Do drop your thumbs up if you're just getting in. It helps us boost up on the YouTube algo. We're on 94. Get in there, my son. 6 away from 100 likes. Man United missed out on Luis Diaz, Dusan Vlahovic transfers. Yeah, we know that. Sorry, I've already talked about that. Okay. Wolves star Ruben Neves is favouring staying within the Premier League. This is what is being reported today as well from a source. But you know, speculation about that again. Would Man United be able to convince him to come to us? Is there interest from abroad? Is there interest from a Champions League side? Would United be prepared to pay the money? Are Wolves prepared to let him go for like 50 or 60 million tops? Or would they really want to try and get 100 mil from him like they talked about the other day when Bruno Lage was asked about him? Okay, team news, guys. Just very, very, very quickly, guys. Team news for Manchester United. Aaron Wan-Bissaka has also returned to training following a knock. Luke Shaw and Paul Pogba both set to miss the remainder of the season, of course. Jadon Sancho is recently hospitalised due to tonsillitis. Is unlikely to be back anytime soon. Elanga and Juan Mata can realistically be expected to maybe start, though, because of some of these injury issues we've got. This is what Rangnick said about Edinson Cavani. Said Edinson in training, he came on as a substitute against Brentford. Marcus Rashford will be missing. He's got bronchitis with a high temperature, so he won't be able to be part of the group. We have a question mark over Eric Barry. He called the doctor this morning and has some problems with his back. So there's the latest team news. Also, Maguire will nonetheless return to the squad. Victor Lindelof and Rafael Varane, of course, will be fighting it out for a starting spot in the squad. Also, I hope those guys play over Maguire. What's your centre-back? So Bailly's out, but what's your centre-back pairing for the game? Let us know in the chat. I would definitely like to see, out of the three of them or four of them that's available, Lindelof and Varane, and I don't think that's a good combo either, but there you go. It's better than the... Oh, thank you so much, by the way, Marky Harris, for another super chat, mate. He says, Ralph has no team selection control, i.e. Slab. Glazer puppet. There you go. It's a puppet. It's only a puppet. What have you missed, Kieran Mallion? Not too much, mate. I'll give you a little rundown at the end, or you can watch it back. Michael Myers, how you doing, mate? Great to see you. Yes, lad. G'day, mate. Getting in here from down under. G'day, pig and fellow legends. How you doing, Michael Myers? Fantastic to see you in the chat, mate. Hello. How you doing? 0793's in here. Slabby Magoo should play. I need a last, says Ulf. Billy says if Pep beats lets Liverpool win the quad by losing to Newcastle today, then he's officially a bald fraud. Fair play, man. Well, I think you can argue that he already is anyway, just by not being able to win the Champions League and all that time with those two different teams. Thank you, Mark Harris, for the super chat, mate. And Chrissy J with your highlighted member comment has been a member for 5 months. Thank you, Chrissy. Says, let's get this legend to 100 likes. Like Spike, thank you so much. And Michael Myers says we've got 103. Thank you, everyone. Chrissy, you're a legend, mate. Thank you very much for being a member of this channel for all that time. Let's everyone get a hashtag 5 months in the chat. Thank you very much, Chrissy. Legend, man. Thanks for supporting the show and being a legend in the community. So there's the team news for United. I would go for Victor Lindelof and Varane if they're fit and available, but, you know, it's like choosing between, I don't know, which shit sandwich you would like to eat. That's basically what it's like choosing between. Okay, so that's basically it. Jose Mourinho crying his eyes out getting Roma to the Conference League final. He's revealed who he's supporting against in the Real Madrid and Liverpool game, and he said that he will be supporting. Who did he say? He says, "If you allow me a message for a coach who is my friend, the great Carlo Ancelotti. Let's both go and win the final." So he's hoping that Real Madrid smash up the Scousers. And I'm hoping they do too. Fucking come on, Real Madrid. Let's get a hashtag a la Madrid in the live chat. It's not often that I support another team like that. But you know what? They're up against the Scousers. And hashtag fuck the Scousers, mate. Yeah, nice one, Chris, you legend. Okay, and also Jose Mourinho was quizzed about Paul Pogba leaving Man United for Man City, apparently. So what did he said? Pep Guardiola spoke out at his press conference after being criticised by Raiola 4 years ago. He said, "I don't understand why I'm such a bad guy, but being this guy 2 months ago, he offered me Mkhitaryan and Pogba to play with us. Why? Why did he offer them? He was interested in Mkhitaryan and Pogba playing with us. Pogba is an incredible player, a top player. I said, no, we don't have the money enough to buy Pogba because he's so expensive." So these were comments that Guardiola made several years ago. Mourinho was quizzed about the prospect of the France international crossing the divide, and he said, "Guardiola says that, the agent denies that. One of them is saying the truth and one of them isn't. I'm not interested in which is the liar and which is the honest guy." He said, and then also he was asked about the prospect of Pogba going to City. He said, "No, I don't even think about it. We know Guardiola and we know the relationship is not the best, so it's normal that sometimes they can come with a little touch on each other. But I wasn't worried about it. I wasn't upset by it. I didn't speak with Paul about it. I didn't call Mino to ask him anything at all. I was just focused on the game. I think Paul was the same because the way he played." Just a couple of interesting points that was said some time ago, obviously, in regards to the setup behind the scenes. Maybe some comments from Guardiola about his thoughts on Pogba. The fact that Mino Raiola is no longer here as well, which would have been maybe a stumbling block between the relationship between Pep and Mino, etc. So, you know, these things, the situation has changed slightly. I don't think Pogba's going to City, by the way. I think he will go to PSG. But anyway, this is basically it. That's basically it. Oh yeah, one last thing I wanted to talk about. Obviously, there was some talks about Calvin Phillips going to United maybe and being a target. Well, this is what Calvin Phillips has said yesterday. Some quotes on Sky Sports News saying, "Speculation, bloody buzzing wire." Sorry, I keep having to smash the desk because it was a wire buzzing. "Speculation on my future don't really bother me. I've always said that I'm Leeds through and through. I want to be at Leeds and I'm focused on keeping this club in the Premier League." So there you go, guys. I mean, we did say that because he's born in Leeds through and through, proper Leeds scummer, it would probably be too hard for him to go across the divide and play for Manchester United, in all fairness. Even if we were interested, even if it would be a better move for his career, it's not like, Cantona. It's not, or Rio. It's not like that situation. It's different. He's a Leeds man. He's a born in Leeds scum. So for those reasons, probably unlikely that he's ever really going to go and play for Man United. If he was going to go and play for a different team, I could see him going for a different team, a bigger team than Leeds, but probably not Man United. He can't go to a bitter rival like that, can he? So I pretty much think we can rule out Calvin Phillips this time. I mean, you never know. From a career point of view, if there was a knock on the door, an offer from Man United, and it was good enough, too good for Leeds to turn down as well, then he would actually be foolish to turn it down from a career perspective, because Man United's just a bigger club than Leeds. And yeah, it's just, he'll get more money and all the rest of it. But I don't think that's going to happen. Oh, yeah, Alan Smith. Well, fair point, David Lee. Yeah, Alan Smith, mate. Yeah, great shout. A proper Alan Smith vibes, mate. Yeah, you're right about that, actually. He was a proper Leeds scummer. Good point. He was hated by them after as well, so. But yeah, man, good shout, good shout. That's interesting. Well, if Leeds did get relegated at some point, then you could see it happen. He's not going to play in the Championship. But then again, I think he would just go to a different team. Gio says, "I have the same dude. My external hard drive beeps at me. Hit it with a hammer." It solves everything. Hey there, Kingslayer. What's going on, mate? What's going on? Right, okay, so that's basically the news, guys. If you're just getting involved, so rumours that Paul Pogba could be a target for City in the summer. We think that he's realistically probably going to end up at PSG in the Farmers League. It suits everybody. he would be obviously getting a lot of praise over there. He'd be getting a lot of money over there. He would have a lot more time on the ball. They'd be guaranteed to win trophies. It's just a Hollywood move for a Hollywood player. It makes perfect sense. So Pogba to PSG probably likely, but ESPN report and various different outlets reporting that Paul Pogba is a target for Pep Guardiola in City this summer. So there you go. And maybe they could be looking to come in and try and snatch him out from Manchester United on a free transfer. That would be disgusting. Also, Ralph Rangnick has come out and made it perfectly clear about the situation with the shithouse Glazers. And just said that Rangnick reveals he wanted a new striker at United in January, but the answer from the board was no. There was Luis Diaz, who is now at Liverpool, Julian Alvarez, who would be at City in the summer, and Vlahovic, who at the time still with Fiorentina. And he also went on to say that, they had discussions, there was time, 48 hours for Man United to maybe do a bit of business, and they just didn't. So he was very disappointed with that, and he said it how it is, and I respect that, man. So much love to Mr. Ralph Rangnick. Hey, thank you, Primont. No worries at all. We're not quite done yet. I actually forgot to talk about this, which was Ten Hag speaking yesterday. He said there is no agreement in place that would exclude me from taking players to Man United. Which Ajax players are interesting? I have very good players here, but that's a non-issue. We now have to become champions, and everything should be focused on that. So, just some quotes from Ten Hag asked about some of the players. Is there a stipulation or a rule in place that suggests that, or a clause that says, hey, okay, you can go and sign for Man United, but you can't come and raid our team for 12 months or 18 months or something like that. Sometimes there is an understanding or an agreement that you can't just go and pilfer the club you've came from immediately. But in regards to that, it seems like that is not the case. It seems like there isn't any restrictions in place that would stop Ten Hag going and signing Ajax players such as Anthony or Gravenberch or Jurriën Timber or anyone. So that is good news, guys. So it does seem that would leave the door open for United to go and discuss the possibility of signing some of these players. And realistically, if we could go and sign Anthony and Timber, a couple of players that are good prospects, young, the right sort of age, getting better, have something to prove, maybe ready to take the step up, then all that's going to do is mean that we can sign a couple of good players for not that much money. Because, yeah, they might be, 30 or 40 mil, maybe for Anthony, or 50 mil or whatever, but I really don't think there's going to be that much. Well, look how much we signed Donny van der Beek for. It's tough for Ajax to keep hold of certain players as well. Look, we've got to obviously compensate them well, and we want to have a good relationship with Ajax because we have done business with them over the years, and they're a good team who produces a lot of good talents, and so it makes sense for us to have a really good relationship with them. So we've got to think about the long game as well, but sign a couple of players, definitely. If you could sign one player from Ajax, who would it be? Sonic Quantum says, hey, Piggy, honestly, I don't really care about Pogba transfer speculations. Just hope we as a club enforce the no player is bigger than the club principle. Yes, Sonic Quantum. See you later, Pogba, in the summer. Nah. I agree. Paul Booth, what's up, mate? He says, I love your channel, mate. I hope it blows up big time. You deserve it. Oh, thank you, Paul Booth, you legend. Get in there, Paul. Come on. Nice comment, mate. Thank you very much, dude. And welcome aboard. You're hoping Nunes comes. He was good against Liverpool in their quarterfinals. Yeah, definitely. That would be a great signing, G-Wolf. Darwin Nunes would be fantastic. Get in there, Reaper King, my son. How you doing? Says, yes, legends. Thank you, David Lee. Says, great stream. Thank you. No worries, bro. No worries. Big up yourself, Mickey Kramer. You think 45 mil for Anthony, says G-Wolf. Anthony says, Kingslayer. Daily Blinn, says Mickey. Their centre-back, says Primot. Enor says, the Pogba rumours give me flashback to Ronaldo rumours to City, and we know he returned to United, so I think Pogba will return to Juventus. Interesting. Edwin van der Sar would be the best signing from Ajax, says Billy. Spot on, mate. Get him in a sporting director role, football director role. I couldn't agree more. That would be the best signing. Okay, so Ralph Rangnick said that he was rejected the opportunity for signing a player in the January window. Bunch of Glazers. Shithouses. And Calvin Phillips said that his speculation is, it doesn't really bother me. He's Leeds through and through, and he's probably going to stay at Leeds. That's basically all the news, guys. And Ten Hag said yesterday that there's no agreement in place that would stop him from signing Ajax players. Right, I'm going to get into the live chat for a few minutes, guys, before I wrap up. Have your say, get your thoughts and opinions in, and do us a massive favour as well. If you're just getting in here and you have not done so, smash the like, it's free. And also subscribe, get your thoughts and opinions in. Sub for 1 minute and you can chat. So get in the chat and let us know your thoughts and opinions. Chris Koo says on Ronaldo, he's staying now, ain't he? I hope so, Chris Koo. I mean, we'll have to wait and see, but it does look like he's going to honour his contract. He seems like, based on what he said and his posts and things like that, that he's very much committed to Man United at this moment and getting us back to where we need to be. So I hope so. And obviously it depends on Ten Hag and a few factors, but Ten Hag would be off his tree to not want Ronaldo. Mark Harris, thank you for another super chat. Dudes, can we get some love hearts in there for Mark Harris? He's gone, I don't know, that's like his 7th one or something. Thank you very much for the support with your comments, mate. He says, I would sign the tea lady from Ajax, Big Bertha, 44 double D, ex-porn star. Nice, mate. We'd all like to see her signed. You know what I'm saying? Sorry, Doris, it's time to go. Big God Bob says, tell me something I don't know about United, says Big God Bob. So something you don't know about United, Big God Bob. Okay. Harry Maguire is also Manchester United centre-back captain, but he also moonlights as a brick on United's car park as well. He moonlights as a brick. So you didn't know that, did you? As a Liverpool, Ronaldo is the GOAT, says, as a Liverpool fan, Ronaldo is the GOAT. Nice one, Jay Razor, man. Fair play. Well, yeah, I don't think anybody can deny, really, that he's one of the GOATs. I personally think he is the GOAT as well. Especially look at what Messi's done this year, guys. So it doesn't really paint Lionel Messi in a very good picture, does it? In fact, I saw a little clip from Sir Alex Ferguson the other day where he was talking about Messi and Ronaldo, and he said, Ronaldo, if you went and put him in a team like Scunthorpe United or Millwall or fucking Kettering Town or whoever, he would score you a hat-trick and get you some individual brilliant goals and do bits. And I think that's even more proven by things that he's done for Portugal and also Manchester United this season where we've been shit and he's just won his games on his own, more or less. Like, he would do that whichever club you put him in. But he said about Lionel Messi, Sir Alex said about Lionel Messi, Messi's a great player, but he said he's a Barcelona player. He's a Barcelona system player with that team, that system. He's a Barcelona system player, and there's nothing wrong with that. He's obviously one of the best players of all time. But it is a different scenario to being a player who can go and do it anywhere. Ronaldo's proven to have done that, whereas Messi hasn't. He's gone to a Farmers League now and he's done nothing but stagnate and he's barely got himself a couple of goals and assists. It's quite pathetic, really, from somebody who's supposed to be the best player in the world. So there you go. I think Ronaldo's just proven what a GOAT he is by still doing it in the toughest league in the world. Still second or third or whatever he is now, second in the goal scorers for the season. It's quite unbelievable. Thank you very much, Mark Harris. Get in there, you handsome bastard. Alan says, how do you think the Brighton game will go, mate? I think we'll win it, Alan. They're in better form than us, but after the last couple of results, we drew with Chelsea. We got a decent performance out the players against Brentford. Hopefully they'll have something to prove and go for it, man. So I'm going for a 2-0 win. Give yourself a triple uppercut, says Michael Myers. She will say, you're going to bottle it like you did in the Prem a few years ago. Slippy Salah incoming. I hope so, man. I do hope so. I mean, it's the lesser of two evils to see City win the league, in all fairness. And hopefully, Real Madrid smash them up in the final of the Champions League as well. We are not calling Messi a system player, for fuck's sake, says Leo. Okay, fair enough. Well, I am. No, you can't call him a system player. Although you'd have to say, like, it's not exactly like he completely, massively set the world alight for the Argentinian national team over the years either. I mean, he has got him a Copa America and stuff, but only the one. Like, I think that's an underachievement for a team like Argentina in South America with a player like Messi and some of the other talents they had. So, there you go. But then again, look, he is good for them as well. But certainly for Barcelona's next level stuff, he's gone to PSG and he's just not done it. What can you say? He's not done it at PSG. And he's younger than Ronaldo. Fair enough, Luex. And he says, to be fair, Messi is still playing better than all the other PSG frauds this year. But statistically, it's not that great. And he's also like doing it in a Farmers League. So it just doesn't mean as much. United dub today, says Reaper King 3-0. I'm going to be back on at 5 p.m, Chris Koo, for the watch along. Yeah, nice one, Leo Carelled. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say he's a system, he's not. Of course, he's a fantastic player, but if he was playing for a lower league team, which is obviously he's not going to do that, but let's just say if he was playing for a lower league team, would he be as effective in a team system where he's not with such talented teammates and all that kind of stuff, doing things from an individual point of view? Whereas Ronaldo, because of a lot of his physical attributes, if they're just binging the corners in, he's going to get his head on them, he's going to score you goals, he's going to smash one from distance. Messi's obviously an incredible talent who scores lots of great individual goals as well. But what's so great about Messi, I think, is he's just as good as a creator as he is an attacker, or as a scorer. He's just like super mercurial. But that all comes down to a lot of the players he's playing with or has played with over the years as well. Super Mark Harris says, Messi to United, watch this space. Oh, shit. Could you imagine that, lad? Could you imagine that? Messi, I don't think that's going to happen, mate. I don't even want him either. No, what? Fuck Lionel Messi. No, I'm just joking. I don't even want him, guys. At this moment in time, he's not the right fit for United. Would you take Messi at United, guys, this summer? Nah, he's on huge money. That money could be spent all over the squad. It's just crazy. Sane blocks. What's going on, Sane? Mark my words, United game in 3-1 Liverpool win reversal of 2018, says Jay Razor. Pogba don't work hard enough for City. Yeah, I don't think they're going to want him either, mate, in all fairness. It would be a bad signing. Come on, Slabby Magoo, you giant monolith. Get on OG or 2 today, says Ulf. No one monolith. No way, says Primot. Sign Angela White over Messi, says Matty Braga. Big up Mark, but hashtag no Messi, says Mickey Kramer. G says Pig. I said Pogba could take a running jump off the Eiffel Tower from his asshole. Well, that's not very nice, is it, to be honest with you, Wolf? I mean, you know, I'm going to remove that comment. It's not very nice, is it, G-Wolf, mate? Chris Goose says, no, he would be another problem we don't need. Think of the shirt sale, says Marky Harris. Lou Exton says, I mean for free, sure, but not for the money PSG. Yeah, for free. Think of the shirt sales would be mad. Chris Barker says, the Maguire hating is getting old. It's not getting old, Chris Barker, because it's as relevant now as it ever has been. G-Wolf's loving it. Guys, I'm going to wrap this video up there then. We're going to leave it there. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Do drop a like on the vid before you go. Hit the subscribe and all that good stuff if you're new to the channel. We're going to be back at 5 p.m. With the watch-along, so make sure you come and join us for the game. See you there. Nice one, 0793. Nice one, G-Wolf. Nice one, Leo, Dandy Cliff, Marky Harris, much love, bro. Chris Parker, Lee Everett, 0793, Rajon, Leo, Chris, David Lee, Billy, Beef Bully, Enor Kingslayer, Johnny M. Thank you, Johnny says, excellent stream. Thank you so much. I removed it before you, G-Wolf. Billy says, see you, Piggy. Jared says, bye, Pig. Hey, Michael Myers, thanks for getting in. You absolutely done it. You've had a great week. Great to see you in it. What a legend. Also going to time you out for that one, Michael Myers. No, we don't make those sorts of comments in the live chat. No. Nice one. Reaper King, Mickey Kramer, everyone as well. Thank you so much for getting in here. Drop a cheeky little like on the video if you haven't done so. That's his first ever timeout. Enjoy, Michael Myers. Enjoy. Enjoy, my friend. Drop a like on the video before you go. Subscribe if you're new. Take a cheeky little subscribe as well to the channel. I've already said that? No. Follow us on social media, at Flying Pig United on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. The website's unitedflyinghigh.com. Come back after this game's finished. Let me know your predictions for the game later. Let me know about your thoughts on Pogba or Rangnick and the board and anything that we discussed in this video. Let's rain down some hashtag Glazers outs in the live chat and some green and gold emojis. And also get an exclamation mark seagulls in the live chat. And I'll see you later on for the watch along. See you later at 5 p.m, guys. Thank you, everyone, for getting in here. All the legends in the chat. Each and every one of you. Much love. Catch you in a bit. And come on, United! See.